I am doing some more authors answer questions today because I love them and it makes for fun videos. I've started this a while back after stealing it from JD. I will leave a link to his channel. I strongly suggest you go follow him because he's amazing, both as an author and as a booktuber. His videos are always interesting and he's a sci-fi fan and a Star Trek fan, so yeah, of course I follow him. Anyway, I did questions 1 to 7 from the first batch, which is from 2015 I think, and I'm trying to go through all of them, and to make it faster I'm doing a bunch of questions in each video and giving you my short answers. And once I catch up with everyone else, I will do one question per video. I have skipped all the time of the year specific questions, like, you know, New Year's and what plans I had for 3 years ago, because that's a moot point. So let's get started. The first question, number 9 in that series, is what are your favorite genres to read? This is a hard one because I try to read across all genres. I try not to focus on just one that I like the most, but I think that at the end of the day, if you give me a good sci-fi, I will always go for that. I try to mix it up with fantasy and paranormal and everything, but lately I've just been gravitating towards sci-fi more. I mean, I've had my period of reading every vampire novel that anyone published in any subgenre, and there was a huge time in my life where I read historicals, especially if they were adventures. Yes, I was that kind of girl that read Three Musketeers and other adventures like that because love stories were boring when I was young. Also, I was a tomboy. That might be the explanation. So yeah, if I had to pick one genre to be my favorite to read in, that would be sci-fi. But I try not to stick to just one genre, just vary it as much as I can, because I strongly believe writers should read in all genres, from fiction to non-fiction and back to fiction again. The next question, what are your least favorite genres to read? This would be a bit of a shock because I do write romance, but the typical male-female contemporary romance just doesn't appeal to me. I just don't like the women in most of them. I don't like the men particularly. I don't like the storylines. I hate it that it's always a womanizer who can't commit and then he meets this woman who's amazing and they start off by just having a sexual relationship and then she changes him after a lot of struggle, and some of the fights are just fucking childish and I hate that. Once in a blue moon I find a really interesting contemporary romance with a very, you know, well-developed plot line that doesn't make me feel like I'm reading a YA instead of an adult book. But yeah, I tend to stay away. I tend to choose like paranormal or sci-fi or historical or anything but contemporary romance. And I try to stray from romance as much as I can because sometimes the tragedy is just amazing. I mean, if you've seen Cowboy Bebop, the anime show, just one series, one season, you'll understand the power of a tragedy. I don't think I will write one yet. I'm too afraid people will kill me for it, but we shall see. Next question. What children's book did you read when you were a child? This is an interesting topic. I used to read fairy tales, but if you're thinking Disney fairy tales, you're dead wrong. Like Comedian fairy tales, some of them are just so fucking creepy. Like, really? They teach you that if you and your brothers don't listen to your mom, an evil man will come into your house, kill 2 of you, cut their heads, place them in the window, and then leave one alive for some reason. I don't remember why that was. It was, you know, a goat. The wolf was the killer, but still, it was fucking horrifying. Sorry for the swearing, I swear a lot. I've tried to keep it down on this channel, but sometimes you just can't. And this theme of just outright dying if you don't listen to your parents, well, that was quite common. But I usually kept the fables and fairy tales like Romanian or Turkish or from, really weird places. Those Turkish fairy tales were just as bad. Yeah. There was someone digging graves up and getting pieces of cadavers and eating them. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant. I don't know why our parents let us read those. I think it's because they were marketed as fairy tales. And then I moved to Hans Christian Andersen. So yeah, that's the Little Mermaid I grew up with, not the, Disney one that has a happy ending. Maybe that's why I write so many happy endings now, because I was scarred by what I read, but deep down I just want to write something super tragic and dark. I blame it on my childhood, and I blame it on my parents, because that's the secret of life. Never take responsibility for anything and blame it on others, right? I am being sarcastic now. The next question: can you recommend an author you enjoy that is not well known? Why did you choose them? There are so many, so I'll just stick to the author I'm currently focusing on reading right now, and that's Anna Butler. She writes sci-fi, gay sci-fi. Although I don't think it matters that there's a gay relationship subplot in there, because her sci-fi is just amazing. Her space operas and world building in those series, it's just, oh my god, it's amazing. I just am so thrilled when I read her stories, and I think the aliens and how she describes them, especially in a conflict, is just so amazing. And I like how she's adapted old civilizations from Earth to how the future descendants of Earth would be organized. I don't know, I just find it fascinating that they're still digging up mummies in their museums, although they're just so far away from ancient Egypt at this point. Earth is just a memory. I don't know. I find that absolutely fascinating. I like it when the past is somehow reflected in the future, and that's one of the reasons why I like the Red Rising series as well, because it's a reflection of the Roman Empire somewhere into the future. So yeah, read Anna Butler, people. If you like sci-fi and generally amazing stories, just read her books. I will try my best to feature lesser known indie or people who are published with smaller independent publishers, not just self-published authors, in the future. If that's something you're interested in me doing author features, please let me know. I do intend to do some interviews, but if you want a more in detail feature about the person, what they write, what books you should start with, I'm more than willing to do that. Next question. Oh, this is an interesting one actually. All of us write prose fiction in an era that has an astounding variety of storytelling media. Has your writing been significantly influenced by any works of newer media? Well, this is interesting to me because, as some of you know, I'm a bit of a geek, so comic books from the traditional ones, to the manga of Japanese descent were always a big part of my life as a reader, and I've always enjoyed them. I also enjoy anime quite a bit. I don't know, they're just so innovative in some ways, and the storytelling in some of these series is absolutely amazing. I'm not that sure about the newer stuff. My top anime has just changed. The top itself has been changing over the years, the past 1 or 2 years, since I met my boyfriend actually. And most of them are kind of old golden age of anime series that I absolutely adore, and I think the storytelling is impeccable. And those did influence the kind of stories I wanted to pursue. And then there are the interactive fiction variants, from visual novels to straight up interactive fiction, which is just a text thing and you can choose where you want to go. It's pretty much read a book combined with choose your own adventure. I found those fascinating, and I'm actually thinking of pursuing that in the future. Not sure if by myself. For those of you who don't know this, my boyfriend is interested in game development, So his kind of storytelling is closer to the narrative you'd find in a game. I find that quite challenging, and brainstorming stuff with him has really inspired me quite a bit. It's a really different way of thinking of the story, but you know, it's always good to get inspiration everywhere. And what else has inspired me? I think it's movies in general and visual stuff, because I'm really focused on how people talk in my books and how I present like the action. I know I've been told that in my werewolf stories, for example, the action scenes are quite visual and people can imagine it happening around them. And I think if you can write a fight scene where people can, you know, just imagine it in front of their eyes, then you're doing a good job. And that I take from visual arts, from movies to all kinds of videos and animation and stuff like that. And you know, video games, because have you seen those castles, like, or the character design? Come on, it's awesome. Yes, I'm a total geek. Thank you very much. The next question: what are your favorite online resources and websites for writers? Well, first there's Grammarly, which now I use like crazy. It's a great tool. I use it in Chrome a lot, and that's been helping me with my blog post writing. As far as websites go, I love Creative Indie. I love it because it deals with stuff we don't talk about that much, like how to actually make money from your writing. And there are a lot of resources on writing itself as a craft, and books and anything, but I think on the business side we kind of forget we're supposed to, you know, deal with that too. It doesn't matter if you're self-published or published, you're still going to do your marketing, you still have to make money out of it and pay taxes, so the business side is kind of important for me. Also, Creative Indie and its related sites like DIY book formats, those are great resources for self-published authors, because if you don't know anything about formatting and how to choose a good cover or what to request from your cover artist, that will help you a lot. There are more, I'm sure, but this is all that came to mind right now. And the final question for today: have you ever wanted to rewrite the ending of another author's published books? How would you change it? I would probably rewrite The Phantom of the Opera. That one I would totally rewrite, because I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get why the Phantom had to be this crazy dude that kills people, and I do not understand why he chose a, you know, uninteresting childhood friend who, other than beauty, had nothing going for him, over the Phantom, who was absolutely amazing. Jokes aside, I love The Phantom of the Opera. It was the only Broadway show I saw in New York City, and I was thrilled to experience that. But generally, actually, I wouldn't change any ending to anything. If it's a really bad ending and a bad book, I learned from it, so maybe others will, so I change it. And if I was just unhappy with how it ended because I just wanted all of them to be happy, well, tough luck. It was never my choice. And I've noticed that whenever I'm mad with an ending for reasons like, oh my god, but I wanted them to live happily forever, which is not always a thing you can do in a story, well, those stories with the weird endings, those are the ones that I remember the most. So they kind of tend to haunt me and make me think and make me want to write my own stories in a way where I find happy endings for everybody. So yeah, I wouldn't change those either. The Phantom of the Opera though, that's got to change. Sorry. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you want to do the questions yourself, I will leave a link in the description to the entire index, and I will also leave a link and you can start there with my first 7 questions. Right now we're at question 18, so there will be more to come. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this again, please leave a comment and tell me what you thought of my answers, and if you have follow-ups, I'm always up for conversations. And yeah, like, subscribe, share, the works. I will see you next time.